Every 3 seconds, somewhere in the world, someone develops dementia. Imagine sitting across from your grandmother, her warm eyes once filled with love and recognition. But today, they scan your face with quiet confusion. She hesitates, searching for your name, a name she has spoken countless times. This is the cruel reality of dementia, a silent thief that steals memories one by one, erasing the very essence of a person. It is not a single disease, but a broad term for a collection of symptoms that impair memory, reasoning, and personality, progressively dismantling the identity of those affected. While aging is the greatest risk factor, dementia is not a normal part growing old. It is a condition that alters the brain, creating a slow but relentless decline in cognitive function. What begins as minor forgetfulness, misplacing keys, forgetting appointments, can spiral into disorientation, mood changes, and an eventual loss of the ability to carry out daily activities. Despite its widespread impact, dementia often goes undetected in its early stages. This is where the real tragedy lies. Many dismiss the warning signs as mere absent-mindedness, unknowingly allowing the disease to tighten its grip. But early detection can make a difference. With the right interventions, lifestyle changes, cognitive training, and medical support, it is possible to slow, and in some cases, even temporarily reverse the effects of cognitive decline. The human brain is resilient, and while there is no cure yet, there are ways to fight back. Recognizing the symptoms early provides a window of opportunity to maintain independence, strengthen mental function, and most importantly, preserve the dignity of those affected. The emotional toll of dementia extends beyond the individual diagnosed. It ripples through families, reshaping relationships and creating a silent suffering that often goes unseen. A father who once told bedtime stories now struggles to find the words for a simple conversation. A devoted wife who remembers every detail of a shared life now forgets the name of the man she loves. Yet, beneath the fog of forgetfulness, the person they once were still remains. Their laughter, their love, their essence. It's all still there, buried under the weight of disease that can be slowed if caught in time. This is why awareness is crucial. The earlier dementia is recognized, the greater the chance to delay its progression and preserve the moments that matter most. By the end of this video, you will understand the 7 stages of dementia and, more importantly, how to fight back. Knowledge is power, and by equipping yourself with the right information, you can help protect your loved ones from fading into the grip of this relentless condition. Dementia does not have to be a silent crisis. It is time to bring it into the light, to recognize the signs, and to take action. The person you love is still there, and with the right steps, you can help them hold on to their memories, their identity, and their life for as long as possible. Dementia is a progressive condition that unfolds in 7 distinct stages, each one marking a deeper descent into cognitive impairment. Understanding these stages is crucial, not only to recognize the warning signs early, but also prepare for the road ahead. It begins subtly, so subtly that the first signs are often brushed aside. But as dementia tightens its grip, it erodes memory, reasoning, and personality, ultimately leaving the individual unrecognizable. The journey from mild forgetfulness to total decline is a slow, painful unraveling, both for the person experiencing it and their loved ones watching helplessly. Recognizing the point of no return is key. Intervening before dementia progresses too far can help slow its devastating effects. The first stage, Stage 1, normal brain function, represents a baseline of cognitive health. At this point, the brain is functioning normally, with no signs of memory loss, confusion, or difficulty in daily activities. There is nothing outwardly different, and a person at this stage is mentally sharp, able to recall information, process thoughts, and engage in conversations without issue. However, even at this stage, preventive measures such as a healthy diet, mental stimulation, and exercise can help protect the brain against future decline. Stage 2, very mild decline, is where subtle memory lapses begin, but they are often indistinguishable from normal aging. It's the occasional forgetfulness, misplacing keys, struggling to remember a word, or briefly forgetting an appointment but later recalling it. These small lapses are easy to dismiss, and at this point, they may not interfere with daily life. However, the key difference between normal aging and early dementia is frequency and progression. A person without dementia may occasionally forget a name, but remember it later, whereas someone in this stage might find these moments happening more often, planting the first seeds of concern. As the condition progresses to stage 3, early dementia, the signs become more noticeable. Think of a smartphone with dying battery. It still functions, but it crashes unexpectedly, lags, and struggles to keep up. Short-term memory loss becomes apparent, with individuals frequently forgetting names, struggling to recall what they just read, or losing track of conversations. They may begin using compensatory strategies, like writing down reminders or rely on others for cues. At this stage, family members may start to recognize something is off, but denial often clouds early detection. A person in stage may cover up their forgetfulness with jokes, brush off concerns, or become defensive when their lapses are pointed out. However, catching dementia at this stage is critical because interventions like cognitive exercises, a structured routine, and medical evaluations can still make a significant difference. Stage 4, moderate decline, marks the point of no return. The symptoms are no longer subtle or dismissible. Individuals in this stage begin forgetting recent events, struggling with problem solving, and making errors in financial management. Tasks that once seemed effortless, balancing a checkbook, doing mental math, or planning ahead, become difficult. Imagine trying to do a simple grocery list, but forgetting the items as soon as you write them down. They may begin to withdraw socially, avoiding conversations or situations where their struggles might be exposed. The weight of dementia begins pressing down harder, and those close to them start noticing significant changes. This is often the stage where a medical diagnosis is made, as the signs can no longer be ignored. Intervention is still possible, but without structured support, the decline continues rapidly. By stage 5, mid-stage dementia, the cracks have turned into deep fractures. At this point, the individual can no longer recall critical personal details, such as their own phone number, their address, or even the current season. Imagine waking up one day not knowing whether it's summer or winter, struggling to dress appropriately because your brain can no longer process the environmental cues. Mismatched clothing, inappropriate dressing for the weather, and general confusion become more frequent. Assistance with daily activities, such as meal preparation, bathing, and dressing becomes necessary. While they may still recognize close family members, their ability to hold meaningful conversations is deteriorating. At this stage, emotional distress, frustration, and outbursts become more common as the brain struggles to piece together an increasingly fragmented reality. Stage 6, severe decline, is where the person's identity begins to dissolve. The loss of recognition extends beyond minor details. Now, they may not remember the name of their spouse, their children, or even themselves. Wandering becomes a serious issue, as individuals in this stage may leave the house in a confused state, unable to find their way back. Personality shifts become drastic. Someone who was once calm may become aggressive, fearful, or anxious. Imagine looking at your lifelong partner and seeing a stranger, unable to grasp the depth of your shared history. The emotional pain for families is immense. Caregiving becomes an around-the-clock responsibility, and professional assistance is often required. The person with dementia may also struggle with basic tasks, such as using the bathroom or eating independently. Finally, stage 7, late-stage dementia, marks the total loss of independence. At this point, the individual is non-responsive, unable to communicate, and completely reliant on others for care. They may lose the ability to swallow, increasing the risk of malnutrition and infections. The body slowly shuts down, and in the final phase, they're confined to bed, unable to move, speak, or recognize anyone around them. It is as if the mind is retreated into a locked room, unreachable even by those who love them most. The heartbreaking reality is that, by this stage, all that remains is a shell of the person they once were. Dementia is a relentless thief, stealing memories, independence, and ultimately, life itself. But there is hope. Recognizing the early stages can make a difference, delaying the disease's progression, and giving families more time to create meaningful moments before they slip away. By understanding these 7 stages, you are equipping yourself with knowledge that can help protect your loved ones. The earlier dementia is detected, the more opportunities there are to intervene. Though there is no cure, there is still time. Time to cherish, time to act, and time to fight back against the silent crisis that is dementia. Dementia does not arrive suddenly like a storm. It creeps in quietly, leaving small, almost imperceptible clues that something is wrong. Many people think of memory loss as a defining symptom, but the truth is, dementia announces itself in far more subtle ways long before full-blown cognitive decline sets in. The key to slowing its progression is recognizing these early red flags before they turn into irreversible damage. One of the first and most overlooked warning signs is reduced brain endurance. If you find yourself increasingly reliant on caffeine just to stay mentally sharp, struggling to focus on conversations or tasks that once felt effortless, it could be a sign of early cognitive fatigue. The brain, like a muscle, starts to wear down, requiring more effort to perform basic mental functions. This is often mistaken for stress or aging, but when coupled with other symptoms, it could be an early indicator of cognitive decline. Physical symptoms can also appear before noticeable memory issues. For instance, micrographia or shrinking handwriting is a subtle but significant sign, often associated with neurological disorders. If a person's once neat, flowing script becomes smaller and cramped over time, it could be a red flag. Another telltale sign is a loss of arm swing while walking, a movement so natural that most people don't even notice it until it's gone. A hunched posture, slow or shuffling gait, and unexplained clumsiness may also point to early brain changes affecting motor function. Dementia doesn't just attack memory, it impacts the senses too. A declining sense of smell is one of the earliest red flags, often appearing years before cognitive symptoms become evident. If someone suddenly can't detect familiar scents like coffee, flowers, or their favorite perfume, it could signal neurological deterioration. Similarly, poor sleep patterns, especially frequent waking, excessive daytime drowsiness, or acting out dreams, can indicate that the brain's regulation of sleep is faltering. Since deep sleep is essential for memory consolidation, chronic sleep disturbances may accelerate cognitive decline. Of course, occasional forgetfulness is normal, but how do you distinguish between dementia and regular aging? The answer lies in patterns and persistence. Poor judgment is a major differentiator. Everyone makes the occasional bad decision, like impulse buying a gadget they don't need, but dementia-related judgment lapses are chronic and often bizarre. Imagine someone repeatedly giving large sums of money to strangers or wearing 3 coats in summer. These are signs of a brain struggling to interpret reality. Then there's time blindness, a disconnection from the present. Forgetting what day it is happens to everyone now and then, but someone with early dementia might not just forget the date. They might believe it's an entirely different year. If a person casually insists it's 1985 when it's actually 2025, that's a glaring sign that their brain is misplacing time. Another subtle but crucial distinction is inability to retrace steps. Losing keys or misplacing a phone is normal. What's concerning is when lost items stay lost because the person cannot mentally backtrack their actions. For example, if they put their wallet in the fridge and have no recollection of ever doing so, that's more than just forgetfulness. It's a breakdown in the brain's ability to process cause and effect. To test cognitive sharpness, let's try a quick mental exercise. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, can you subtract 7 from 105 times quickly? If you hesitate, struggle, or feel mentally drained by the effort, it may indicate an early warning sign. While a single misstep isn't cause for panic, consistent difficulty with mental calculations, especially ones that used to be easy, can be a signal that something is amiss. Now, let's add a little humor to lighten the topic. Normal aging is forgetting your password. Dementia is forgetting you even need one. Occasional absent-mindedness happens to everyone, but when someone forgets how to perform routine tasks altogether, like how to use a phone, tie their shoes, or make coffee, it's no longer a simple lapse in memory. It's a sign of deeper cognitive failure. Catching dementia early is the difference between taking action and being forced to accept the inevitable. By paying attention to these subtle yet significant signs, you can intervene before the disease takes full control. If you recognize these symptoms in yourself or a loved one, it's time to seek medical advice. Dementia may be a silent thief, but if you catch it early, you can slow its progress, reclaim lost ground, and hold on to the moments that matter most. Dementia doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of years, sometimes decades, of gradual brain breakdown. But why does this happen? Why do some people remain sharp into their 90s while others begin to decline in their 50s? The answer lies in how we treat our brains throughout life. The brain is like a car. If you fuel it with junk, neglect maintenance, and never take out for a drive, it will eventually fail. Understanding the root causes of dementia is the first step in preventing and slowing its progression. One of the biggest myths about brain health is that doing crossword puzzles or Sudoku is enough to keep your mind sharp. While mental stimulation is important, exercise is the number one stimulus for brain function. Physical movement increases blood flow, delivering oxygen and nutrients to the brain while removing toxins. When you stop moving, blood flow decreases, and parts of brain begin to shrink. Think of your brain like a garden. If you stop watering it, the plants start to wither. Similarly, without movement, the brain undergoes atrophy, a slow, painful shrinking process that weakens memory, decision-making, and emotional control. Studies show that people who exercise regularly have a 50% lower risk of developing dementia, while those with sedentary lifestyles experience faster cognitive decline. The modern diet is wreaking havoc on brain health, and one of the biggest culprits is insulin resistance, often called type 3 diabetes because of its strong link to Alzheimer's disease. Here's what happens. When we consume too much sugar and processed foods, our body becomes resistant to insulin, the hormone that helps regulate blood sugar. Over time, this resistance damages neurons, leading to memory loss and brain fog. Imagine pouring syrup into a car engine. Eventually, the engine will clog, overheat, and break down. The same thing happens to your brain when it's overloaded with sugar and processed carbs. A high-sugar diet reduces brain function, increasing inflammation and accelerating cognitive decline. Inflammation is another major driver of dementia. In simple terms, neuroinflammation is like a slow-burning fire inside your brain, damaging cells and disrupting communication between neurons. What causes this? Toxic foods, environmental pollutants, and gut inflammation. Processed foods, hydrogenated oils, artificial sweeteners, and preservatives damage brain cells. Toxins, heavy metals like lead and mercury, and pesticides interfere with brain function. Gut inflammation. Poor gut health can lead to leaky brain syndrome, allowing harmful substances to enter the bloodstream and cause brain inflammation. Brain scans of people with dementia often show inflamed, swollen tissue compared to the smooth, well-defined structure of a healthy brain. This inflammation is why dementia patients experience mood swings, memory loss, and confusion. It's as if their brain is constantly under attack. The good news? Brain decline isn't inevitable. By making the right lifestyle changes, moving more, cutting out sugar, and reducing exposure to toxins, you can protect and even reverse some cognitive decline. Think of it as cleaning out your car's engine, giving it fresh fuel and taking it for a drive. The earlier you act, the better your chances of keeping your mind sharp for life. Dementia may be a silent thief, but the battle isn't over. If you're reading this, it means you still have time to act. Your brain isn't doomed to decline. It can heal, adapt, and rebuild itself if given the right conditions. The earlier you intervene, the greater the chances of reversing damage, or at least slowing down the disease. But even in later stages, there are still ways to improve quality of life. The key is taking action now. Step 1. Move daily, your brain's natural fertilizer. One of the most powerful ways to fight cognitive decline isn't a pill, it's movement. Exercise stimulates brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, often called fertilizer for the brain. This powerful protein encourages the growth of new brain cells, strengthens connections between neurons, and helps protect against degeneration. Walking, especially outdoors, boosts circulation and oxygen flow to the brain. Dancing combines movement with coordination, challenging both the body and mind. Resistance training strengthens muscles and improves insulin sensitivity, which protects brain function. Even simple activities like stretching, balance exercises, and posture correction can stimulate neural pathways. The goal is to move daily, no matter your fitness level. Step 2. Metabolic reset. Feed your brain, don't starve it. If your brain is a car, sugar is like cheap, dirty fuel that clogs the engine. The modern diet, high in refined carbs, processed food, and artificial additives, is one of the biggest contributors to cognitive decline. To reset your metabolism and nourish your brain, focus on 3 key dietary shifts. Cut sugar and processed carbs. Reduce bread, pasta, sodas, and sweets to stabilize blood sugar. Prioritize healthy fats. The brain is 60% fat, so it thrives on omega-3s from sources like salmon, walnuts, and flax seeds. Avocados, olive oil, and coconut oil are also brain-friendly choices. Eat whole, nutrient-dense foods. Leafy greens, berries, nuts, and lean proteins provide essential vitamins and antioxidants that combat neuroinflammation. Some researchers even call Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes because of how insulin resistance contributes to brain degeneration. A low-carb, high-healthy fat diet can be a game changer in protecting brain health. Step 3. Fix sleep and stress, the silent killers of brain cells. Sleep is when your brain cleans itself, literally. During deep sleep, the glymphatic system flushes out toxins that build up throughout the day. Poor sleep means those toxins stay trapped, increasing your risk of dementia. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night to allow your brain to repair. Follow circadian rhythm. Sleep and wake up at the same time daily. Avoid screens before bed and expose yourself to natural sunlight in the morning. Reduce cortisol, stress hormone. Chronic stress shrinks the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. Daily relaxation practices like deep breathing, meditation, and laughter can counteract its effects. Step 4. Posture and smell training. Unconventional but effective. Believe it or not, how you stand and how you smell can predict brain health. Posture matters. A hunchback and stiff walking pattern are early signs of cognitive decline. Consciously working on standing tall and walking with a full arm swing stimulates brain-body coordination. Smell training. Loss of smell is an early warning sign of dementia, but the good news is you can retrain it. Sniffing strong scents like peppermint, citrus, and coffee daily helps rewire olfactory pathways, potentially slowing brain deterioration. For late-stage caregivers, slowing decline, not just managing it. If you're caring for someone in the later stages of dementia, your role is vital in maintaining their dignity and quality of life. While reversal may no longer be possible, slowing progression and improving daily function is still within reach. Structured routines. Predictability reduces anxiety and confusion. Music therapy. Music activates memory and emotions, helping patients reconnect with their past. Sensory stimulation. Gentle massages, aromatherapy, and familiar sounds can provide comfort and cognitive engagement. Dementia may feel like an unstoppable force, but every small change can make a difference. Your brain is resilient, adaptable, and designed to heal, but only if you take action. Start today. Take a 10-minute walk. Swap sugar for a healthy fat. Go to bed an hour earlier. If you found this information helpful and want to learn more about protecting your brain and improving your health, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us create more life-changing content. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Your brain will thank you.